Hello everyone. In this video, we'll discuss about the embolism and the infarct. We'll see the various types of the embolism and infarcts, and we'll see the basic difference between them. So starting with the embolism, we can define the embolism. It is basically a detached intravascular mass. So a mass which was already there in the vessels and that has detached. So what type of mass can be there? There can be solid, liquid or gas that is carried downstream from its site of origin. So again, trying to define it, a detached intravascular mass of solid, liquid or gas that is carried downstream from its site of the origin. Now most commonly seen embolism is the thromboembolism. So there can be various types of the embolism. The most common is the thromboembolism. Other are the atheroemboli, then we have the fat emboli, air emboli, amniotic fluid emboli and the tumor emboli. So all these tells you the type of the tissue they are getting detached from. Pulmonary embolism. Now this pulmonary embolism is most commonly seen in deep leg veins, and these are seen above the level of the knee. So if I discuss about the pulmonary embolism itself, these most commonly these arise from the DVT, deep vein thrombosis, and which is basically a venous emboli will be coming and lodging, right? Now this type of embolism, pulmonary embolism, is most commonly seen in hospitalized patients and bedridden patients. There's one term called as saddle embolism. So what is this? This is basically a large thrombi that detaches and that gets lodged in the bifurcation of the pulmonary artery. And this thing is known as the saddle embolism. Now there can be multiple emboli which can be seen in this pulmonary embolism, right? Now about 60 to 80% of the pulmonary emboli are clinically silent because patient won't be having any symptom because of their low or the small size, right? Now they rarely may cause pulmonary infarction. Yeah, pulmonary emboli do not cause pulmonary infarction, or it is very rare because lungs have two blood supply. One is from pulmonary vessels and another is from the bronchial vessels, and that's the reason these are generally silent, or the pulmonary infarction is not seen in the lungs. Next one we have is the fat embolism. Now this type of fat embolism or this type of embolism is seen in the fractures of long bone, and sometimes when there is soft tissue injury or involving the adipose tissue and all, that is basically the reason for this. Now 10% of the cases of the fat embolism are fatal, and there is a very unique symptom associated with this is known as the fat embolism syndrome. Now what is this? This is characterized by pulmonary insufficiency, neurological symptoms, anemia, and most characteristic, that is the thrombocytopenia. Now let's see the systemic embolism. Now this systemic thromboembolism, that is the thrombus that has been detached and formed the emboli, right? So the systemic thromboembolism is most commonly seen in the heart, and the major site of the arterial embolizations are the lower extremities, that is in 75% of the cases, and then the brain, that occurs in 10% of the total cases. Now coming to a special marital fact, the most common site for the venous thrombosis that is seen is the deep leg veins below the knee. Infarct. Now this infarct is defined as an area of the necrosis which is caused by occlusion, right? So the occlusion can be of both, either it can be of arterial or the venous supply in a particular tissue. So whenever there is occlusion of the arteries, yes, there will be lack of oxygen. At the same time, venous drainage is also hindered, and that can also lead to the infarction. So nearly 99% of the infarct that occur from the thrombus or emboli, but almost all will result from the arterial occlusion. So the infarcts, we can classify them as on the basis of color: red, that is hemorrhagic, or white or pale, anemic, right? And it can be also classified as septic or blunt. Now the most important portion of this video, and this is very important for your exam point of view because they ask at least one question in every exam. So the basic difference between the red infarcts and the white infarct. So first we'll see the features here, the cause of the red infarct. The cause of the red infarct is the arterial occlusion. Most important to remember here is the arterial occlusion of the loose tissues or those organs which have the dual blood supply, and these two features are very characteristic to the red infarcts, right? The venous occlusion in ovarian torsion is also a reason of the red infarct, while the white infarct there will be arterial occlusion in the solid organs. So remember the difference, the red infarct is there with the loose tissues, while the arterial occlusion will be there in the solid organs with end arterial circulation. Now the affected organs, the most commonly affected organs here will be the hollow organs, the lung and the small intestine, while the white infarct will be more seen in the solid organs like heart, spleen and kidney. So remember, they can give you any cross section, the cut section as a picture, and they can ask you the type of infarct. So you can also choose that by knowing the solid, whether it is a solid organ or whether it is a hollow organ, right? Then the properties of the infarct. So the red infarct will have ill-defined hemorrhagic margins which will be changing their color to the brown, while the white infarct will have the well-defined margins which will become progressively paler with time. Now the edema. So edema is generally present in the red infarct and it is absent in the white infarct. Now let's discuss certain important questions on the embolism and the infarct. So the first question here is, the most common site for the venous thrombosis is. Now this is important because the venous thrombosis most commonly it is seen in the deep leg vein, and this is generally seen below the knee. So deep leg vein below the knee, the venous thrombosis is seen. Now the next question is, most of the pulmonary emboli arise in. Now the most of the pulmonary emboli also arise in the deep leg vein, but they are found above the or at the level of knee. So basically this has to do with the femoral vein, right? So the femoral vein in which the most of the pulmonary emboli arise. And the next question here is, what is the shape of the infarct? So when we are asked about the shape of the infarct, we should know that all the infarcts are wedge shaped. Now if I try to give you an idea, suppose this is the organ, right? This is the organ and this is the surface of the organ, and there is a vessel, or I must say the artery here. Now here at this place there is an occlusion. Now occlusion of artery is there, right? Now due to this occlusion there will be infarction in this organ. So the whole tissue here is normal, but due to the infarction, the infarction will spread like this. So basically this will be the infarcted tissue. Now we can see that the apex of the infarct is seen near the artery, right, near the occluded vessel. So the occluded vessel forms the apex of this infarct, while the surface of the organ forms the base of this infarct. So the infarcted tissue is triangular in shape or wedge shaped, where the apex is formed towards the occluded artery and the surface of the organ forms the base of this wedge, right? Now coming to the next question, the type of infarct to which solid organs, these are the heart, spleen or kidney, these are more prone. So the type of infarct to which solid organs, heart, spleen or kidney are more prone, we know the answer to this is white infarct. The hollow organs like the lungs or the intestine, These have mostly the red infarct.